the East Coast. Y'all know who it is. Angela Nirvana, your hostess with the mostest on the Friends of ADOS TV channel. Bringing you those ADOS hot topics and making the case for reparations some more. How y'all doing, family? Ooh, this COVID-19, Dorona, family, Dorona. Okay? Ooh, child, I miss y'all so much. I'm just really grateful for this YouTube space, this Facebook space, to be able to reach out and touch y'all whenever I feel like it. But ADOS life is happening, y'all. Ooh, don't y'all feel like the ancestors? Not quite as bad. We know the ancestors went through far worse. But that is exactly what it's going to take for us to overcome in this space, in this era of COVID. We have got to dig into who we are from our core, family. We are on the shoulders of some incredible ancestors who gave birth to us through the horrors and the terrors of the most heinous chattel slavery of its kind in all of the world, family. That's who you are. You are made from that. Dorona don't have nothing over ADOS. Dorona don't have nothing over us. We got some casualties, family. Close to 50% of the deaths and the persons with this thing are ADOS. But guess what? It can't take all of us. And we're just so empathetic. Our deepest sympathies for your loss out there, family. I feel it every day that I get up and keep fighting. It's for those of us who have been lost to this COVID. It's for those of us who are struggling all over the country. I feel you. I love you, Black. I love you, Strong. Hang on, family. This will not take us out. Look at what we have survived, family. Hold on to the fact that we survived that transatlantic slave voyage over here. We survived the heinous chattel slavery. We survived the lynchings. We survived the Jim Crow. We survived the redlining. We survived them burning down Wall Street, family. We survived prison, private prison industrial complex. We still here. Understand who you are right now. And tell Dorona, the God in us is greater than COVID-19. No weapon, family. No weapon. You've got to bring all the spirituality you got down to your baby toe in on this fight right here. Because they coming for everything else they didn't take the last recession, family. We're not going to let that happen. There's no way on the planet they get to have my house. They don't get your house. The blood is on the door. The gate is up. Okay? The blood is on you. The blood is on the door. The blood is on your children. Do you understand what I'm telling you? And we will get up and continue this fight. Rona doesn't get to win, family. I want you to mind your diets. I want you to mind your prayer, your meditation work. Get it in, family. Because it's going to take something far greater than your individual strength to overcome this, to break the chain of corona. Dorona don't have nothing on ADOCS. Nothing. Take your best shot. Here we are. We're going to survive this. We're going to overcome this. We're going to be better because of it. Trust me when I tell you, because that's who you are. That's how you're wired. That's why you're ADOS. We still here. Yes. We still here. Tell them, family, we still here. Tell them. What's up? Cat Lego, I see you. Thank you so much. I don't know if they lie about the numbers, family, but I know we need to take this very seriously. Maybe it's a good thing if they lie about the numbers. Maybe that would benefit us to put our mask on, put our gloves on, okay? I don't care if it's made up. If that's going to ring the alarm and you're going to do what's right by your health and by that of your family, let them say whatever. I don't care. We need to care on a real deep level, because I'm here to tell you that you can literally be walking around with this thing and be asymptomatic and be a danger to your children and your grandparents and the elders. So I don't care if the numbers are a lie. I really am not into any of it. I know that we don't even have the numbers for every state that's been impacted. But I know that COVID and Black people, we are a playground for that COVID because of the maladies we already struggle from. And let me help you understand, family. It's not your fault. I am so sick and tired of folks dealing with effect and not cause up in this piece. That's what they want to gloss over. Yeah, I know I still owe y'all a response video to P. Diddy's state of emergency. I couldn't even get all the way through it without wanting to barf. I'm here to tell you it wasn't just Twinkies that's taking us out. It wasn't just Kentucky Fried that's taking us out. It wasn't just the church's chicken that's taking us out, family. Yes, we need to do better, but let's not pretend like that is how we got here, the most susceptible of everybody in this country to the COVID. Okay? Let's talk about how. Let's talk about cause. We have been demanding reparations for over a couple of years now. And Black folks still acting like they want to blame why we are dying in 1 month over a Twinkie and over churches. And come on now, family. We have had poor diets. I have never seen nothing come up in here and take us out within 1 month. I know folks that smoked and drank liquor and ate pig's feet all the way till they was 100. So for them to be sitting up here trying to blame ADOS's poor diets on the fact that we're dying in droves is only dealing with effect and not cause. And we're going to talk about it. I've got my illustrious guest. Y'all know and love him. Shawn Hill is my guest today. I'm going to bring him up and we're going to get into this topic and we're going to give you insight on how you can overcome Corona just like the ancestors overcame slavery. And I want you to know it is not your fault. Let me bring him up. Thank you, family. Hey, Trey, what's up, Robin? Thank you for being on the line. Oh, I love y'all. I love y'all Black. I love y'all strong. Please share. Start your watch parties, because I don't know how to do both at the same time. I usually do my watch parties following the show. Here comes the one, the only ADOS Texan, Shawn Hill. Let me show him in the stream, family. Show your love in the chat.
Hey, what up, family? What up? What up? What up? What's good?
Thank you so much, Shawn.
Thank you,
for
sir.
your immediate yes when I reached out to you
Anytime.
And shared with you. I know you've been doing shows on how we can overcome during COVID financially. I shared with you about my challenge. We're back at it again. I wasn't even fully recovered to my 6-figure a year salary since the last recession cycle. It has been an uphill battle. But God spared my home because the blood was on the door. And I got swept up in a $25 billion lawsuit from the banks and their wrongful foreclosures. I literally was going through a loan modification process as they were trying to foreclose on the home after 2.5 years of playing the bureaucracy red tape game. And then my mortgage was slashed in half as a result of that program. So God is my sponsor. That's all I've got. It was a miracle. And so now I was laid off due to COVID on March the 16th. And reeling over what to do, I immediately filed my unemployment insurance claim. That's been kicked back. I need to tell the backstory, family, because you need to understand that there's a lot of games being played, and you won't have any idea when they start foreclosure proceedings on you if you're not informed.
Yes.
Okay. Uh, the sidebar, Friends of ADOS Super PAC and the Concerned Black American Citizens are formulating a response to the stimulus because there will be a second one coming, and we're going to make sure we have set asides
Mm-hmm.
for the ADOS. So be looking for that to be blowing up in a New York minute throughout the social media spaces. We're hitting up all of Congress with this demand because we've been on the calls. I thank you, Shirley Huzar from Urban Game Changers, for inviting me on the White House call yesterday. I've been on the NAACP call and the Congressional Black Caucus calls, and lots of concern out there, but everyone mummies the word about the real cause of why we're the most impacted, which is money. Money.
Yeah.
It's our reparations that are due that we've been screaming on for years and being ignored by the decadent veil and most of the candidates running for the presidency. And now everybody's acting so surprised. But anywho, let me go back. So I filed my unemployment insurance claim on the 20th of March. I just heard from them last week and they gave me $0.
Mm.
Now, why is that and why is that a problem? Well, I am an independent contractor for the company that I do legal work for.
Yeah.
But as you know, the stimulus includes the unemployed independent contractors and self-employed. It's not our fault that the country held on to the information about the COVID and did not take action sooner. And now the huge layoffs. I think there's something like 16 million that have been laid off.
Yes.
So anywho, I filed and they gave me $0. Well, at the time that I filed, family, look out for the tricks. Under normal circumstances, I don't qualify for unemployment insurance.
Mm-hmm.
But when I applied the first time, there was no selection for the COVID crisis as a reason for the layoff. You must know this because you may have already filed before there was an option on your unemployment insurance online for the COVID as a reason. This
Mm-hmm.
is especially hurtful to self-employed and independent contractors like myself because, family, that additional $600 that you get on top of whatever your base amount is tied to the base amount. You cannot afford to sit on a $0, or if they deny your claim because you're independent contract or you're self-employed. They owe you for the COVID crises as part of that stimulus. And if you don't persist through getting those applications filed, you will not get your extra $600 per week for 13 weeks stimulus. So I'm sharing with you guys and being very transparent, something we all need to be and do. Let me tell you what else is happening, family, since my layoff. I had to fight with my car company to get 1 month put on the back end of my loan.
Mm.
They wanted to demand of me to do this in 2 weeks. Well, how do we do this in 2 weeks if we don't have any income? It's virtually impossible, family, and they know it. So don't get your cars repossessed. One of my girlfriends said that her carrier for her note gave her 2 months on the back end of her note, which is what you really, really need right now. You need those payments to go on the back end. But let me tell you what the mortgage company is doing, family. I finally get in touch with them. They tell me they will give me a forbearance until June. And then in June, they want 4 months of mortgage payment.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
They know we have executive orders to stay at home. Do you see what they're coming for, family? They're coming for the rest of the homes that we did not lose the first go round under Obama's bailout of corporate. While they give 4.6 trillion to the corporations for a bailout on the heels, family, of tremendous tax breaks that they used to buy back their own shares of their own stock.
Yeah.
They're trying to render the rest of us, ADOS, crippled in this second go round. And that's why we're making demands before before the ink even hits the paper. We're in these trenches working very diligently for you, and I can't say much else. But I brought Shawn on because I too found a solution. It's not the end all be all, but it will at least get money coming in. But before I dig into that, let's hear from Shawn. What do you have to say? Any comments about what I've just shared, Shawn? Thank you for being on the show.
Hey, sister, thank you. And shout out to ADOS everywhere. I love you, family. And thank you for your transparency. And this is what we need because we have to start putting a human face on our tragedies, right? So it's one thing to talk about data, and I love the data. It's one thing to talk about, plans and processes and bills and what's going on in Congress. But see, these are real lives. Every ADOS person that's lost their life, that's a family that's been impacted. That's not just a number. That's not just a statistic. Every person that's been denied, income through unemployment. That's a family. And I don't know if you heard or the family heard Yvette's show, but there was a caller at the end of that show, and he summed it up so perfectly about what's coming down the line. And I think one of the things that's good about the ADOS family is we try to talk to you and prepare you for what's coming down the line. At least that way you can see it coming. We can't prevent it all the time, but if we know what's coming, at least we can understand the reason for it and why it's happening. And so what we're talking about is these layoffs, what's this massive layoff, what's happening, and it seems surreal, and it seems like we almost can't believe it's happening so quickly. That's just one part of the puzzle. The real damage is going to be done 6 months from now, a year from now, when all the spotlight is gone from the rest of America. And then, as he said so eloquently, ADOS people are left to eat the failure. Then it's going to be our fault. Then it's going to be, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? You could have done this. This was available to you. And so this is what's coming, family. Here's what he said, and I agree with him 100%, is that a lot of the jobs that we're looking at now, they will not be back. They will not come back. And so for us to think that there's just going to be a rebound and it's going to go back to life life, business as usual, life's going to go back to normal, that's not going to happen, because a lot of what's going to happen is, now that people have had a taste of working from home and they see that the world didn't end, they're gonna want more of that. The businesses are gonna want more of that, because guess what? It's less overhead for them. The employees are gonna want more of that, because guess what? Hey, I can spend time with my family, I have to commute. So there's going to be more of a push. Well, the long-term trickle-down effect of that is a lot of those businesses, a lot of those places aren't going to need the head count that they used to have before. So you're talking about janitorial, we're talking about maintenance, we're talking about a lot of ADOS businesses that are going to close up, and not even the business, but the employment part of that business. You have to own it, but you may have worked there. You may have been a janitor at that building. That's going to go away. Security at those buildings are going to go away. And so there's going to be some trickle down effects that are going to happen because of what's happening now, that as we always say, we're going to bear the brunt of that. If white America, or if America, white America, I know it's synonymous, so you might as well just say what it is. As they say, if they catch a sniffle, we catch COVID, and that's
Yeah,
what
I like that. We catch COVID. Go ahead.
that's what it's going to see. That's what we're going to see coming down. So what is the solution? And here's what I want people to do. I don't want you to get down. I want you to get depressed, because you got to take, as you said, sister, we have to do self-care, right? We have to love on each other. We have to be there for each other. We have to connect. So what I'm telling you, what my sister's telling you, we're not telling you this for you to get depressed, for you to get down. We're telling you this so you can prepare, right? So if we tell you that it's going to rain, don't get down because it's going to rain. Get an umbrella. That's the goal.
Come on.
Oh my gosh, it's raining. My gosh. Ooh, it's always raining. No, just go get an umbrella. Try to prepare yourself the best you can, and you move on through the rain. So that's the key, is as we know we're going to be negatively impacted by the job loss. It just happens because the reason why we're impacted so much now is we are so much of what we call those essential people, right? We are the people that's handling things, and we're out there, and we don't have, a lot of us have the luxury of working from home and being remote because we have to be out there. So once we know that, we understand that as these jobs trickle down, and they will, and they keep going away and they don't come back, what do we do? So we're going to have this spell one where we have a little stimulus and $1,200. Hey, I'm glad for it. I'm not going to return my check, but it really doesn't do a lot for most people, right? It's going to get you, it's better than nothing. All right. It's better than nothing. But it's what I like to call a payoff, right? It's just a payoff so you don't recognize what's really happening in the corporate welfare that's been given away. So if they gave all the money to the big corporations, there'd just be, fires and pitchforks in the street, and people would really be up in arms and say, so let's give them a little tip. Let's throw them a little $1,200 bone, while the corporations take millions. So you get 1,200, they get millions. That's the way.
Trillions.
Trillions. True. So that's the way that works. So anyway, so I don't want to get too, but here's why I came on today, is telling you that as we go through this thing, one, there's going to be two areas of power for us going forward. One is information, and two is organization. So we have to have both of those things going forward. We don't have the financial, wherewithal as a community. Some do, but as a community, we don't have the wealth. But we have to be organized. We have to share that information because that's going to be our sustenance. That's going to be it going forward. And we don't have the luxury of, just saying, hey, you know what? It's going to get better. We Black folks can, we don't have that because guess what? Here's what we're seeing. Here's what we're seeing, regardless of whether you believe the numbers or don't believe the numbers, it just makes sense that anytime anything bad happens to America, because we are at the bottom, we are bottom caste, not class. I'm not going to go into that, but watch Yvette's show. She'll tell you. Because we're at the bottom, we are going to be more negatively impacted anyway. It's not surprising. That was not shocking. We're the ones out there that have to have the contact. We don't get a chance to work from home as a group. Not talking about individuals, as a group. So anyway, said all that to say, one of the things that we have to do is we have to communicate. We have to help each other. One of the ways we can do that is by getting on LinkedIn. And on that platform, Facebook is nice, YouTube is great, but on that platform, you get a chance to network with professional people. You get a chance to let people know, hey, this is what's out there. This is out there. And I'm not saying that as a solution. Don't get me wrong. Just like Facebook is a solution, just like YouTube, these are just modes, right? These are just platforms. These are ways to communicate. And you can get on LinkedIn, and I can endorse Angela. I can endorse my sister. I can give my sister a recommendation on there. And guess what? When an employer comes and sees that, it makes a difference. Or if I just know her on LinkedIn, on Facebook, if I just know her on YouTube, that doesn't help her. Me liking a video, what does that do for her? Me giving her a thumbs up on Facebook, how does that help her? But if I know her on LinkedIn, I can give her a recommendation. I can endorse her skills. So we have more opportunities on a professional level on that platform. So we got to get there. I know I went on a long time, but that's where we are.
I appreciate you, brother, because you know how long-winded I am. We were born to talk. And that's why we do this, because people love what we have to offer. So I thank you. It's never too long. I did want to go back a little bit to what you were sharing about the surprise of this country. And I want to reiterate that the decadent veil has been very problematic, and why all the country is surprised at the COVID numbers. You see, it's a shame that the Democrats rely on our vote for nothing, and then have the unmitigated gall to be mortified by the numbers. Like, you are totally out of touch. And I've been to a couple of meetings where they were totally out of touch. I've been to a Karen Bass town hall where the things we were sharing about what's happening to ADOCS right here in Southern California, she seemed like a little perplexed by the information we were sharing. I've been to the Maxine Waters Census Town Hall. She was blown away that we were being left out of even those census jobs that have now been put on hold. So do understand that the decadent veil has been masking our failure.
Yes.
And COVID is both a blessing and a curse, right? A curse and a blessing at the same time, because it's pulling the wool off of what is happening to ADOS in a major way. These numbers that they are reporting about our deaths and how we've been the most impacted throughout the country, they can no longer hide behind the decadent veil when it comes to what needs to happen to remedy us. But do they have the will to do it?
That's the key.
The next question. Do they have the will to do it? And I don't know, but what I do know is that we are going to weaponize the Rona. We're going to weaponize it to put that data in their face in this upcoming mass distribution to Congress, to the press, and social media spaces to let them know, since they want to be in denial about how we got here, we're going to explain it through the data and make serious demands that we need enforced for our protection. So family, all is not lost. It is an opportunity to get some of the needs of the Black agenda met through these demands that we're putting out there so hard, because they won't let us, their screening calls, they won't let us come in on those calls talking reparations. But one caller got through, the CBC call, and she was speaking on reparations, and Karen Bass addressed her and said they will be passing HR 40 this fall. Now, mind you, family, that's just a study. So I don't get excited over studies.
Right.
What needs to happen is we are in a national state of emergency in ADOS. The reason why class-based policies don't work, like I've been screaming for the last year over Bernie Sanders trying to give away all these class-based policies, is you're just taking our repair and making everyone else whole. And when you lift everyone, where are we, family? Still on the bottom. Mm-hmm. This is why Bernie Sanders' class-based policy of removing student loan debt doesn't work for ADOS when only 16% of us have college degrees. Okay, having Medicare for all doesn't work for ADOS if you're homeless. And COVID is the response. COVID supports my argument that Medicare for all does not help you when you're on the bottom, because half of the families throughout this country, of the homeless population, 50% are ADOS families. Do you understand your baristas in Starbucks are sleeping in their cars out here because they can't afford the mortgages and the rents on $15 an hour? Mm-hmm. They can't do it. So I'm saying all this to say that those class-based policies were another white wealth transfer, because unless we can move into the hospitals and take up residency there, what difference does it make if you treat the symptoms and don't, provide an antidote to cure us, is what I'm saying. We can be out here getting every form of malady, but if we don't have a place to lay our heads and we don't have the resources to take care of our families, where do we end up? In the hospital, in the emergency rooms. We can't live there. So having that, like I said, people are wanting to deal with effects. They want to deal with effects, but not the cause and how we got here. And we are owed that money. Nobody else can come up with a solution to close the egregious racial wealth gap. Reparations is that. And that's why that's not going away. We're here like a steady drumbeat, family. I'm not putting down that argument, because we can see what being locked out of access to the Capitol our ancestors built with their lives is doing to the ADOS community by way of the COVID. This is what happens when you don't have the resources directly in your checking account the way they're doing the rest of America's stimulus. I'm not talking about programs they can give with one hand and take away with the other. I need programs, if they're going to do them, exclusively for ADOS, and we need a way to measure it. and to make sure it's enforced. In the meantime, I don't need you telling me how to spend the hundreds of thousands I am due for the trillions you owe for slavery, Jim Crow, and ongoing systemic racism, oppression, and disadvantage. I want my money to do with it as I please, to start business, to do all manner of things. So I'm gonna take a breath, but I thank you for the LinkedIn reference. I hope you guys are taking notes. Thank you, Nathan, for being on the live.
Yeah.
Thank you, Vicky, for being on the live. Thank you, Jamar, for being on the live. Al-Badi, I thank you guys for being on the live. If I didn't call your name, it's because I can't see you in the chat. But I thank you so much. I want you to take notes because they don't get to take us out with this next corporate bailout, with the next money grab. And that's the, hi, Ebony, thank you so much for being on the line. So I want to tell you that the blood is on ADOS because I pray it every day without fail. I pray over us and for us. And I'm telling you, you've got to have the resolve, even while you're in isolation, to get on this computer and make the most of it. So I'm going to share what I've been doing, and then I'm going to hear more from Shawn. So when my mortgage company told me they want a balloon payment in 4 months, I snatched up my teenager and Shirley Huzar, shout out to Shirley from Urban Game Changers. She recommended that I start up a shopping site to go out here and make groceries for the seniors who can't be around in the grocery stores and in public places because they're the most vulnerable. Well, in trying to set up my first account with a senior mobile park, I learned from the manager over there that doing something like an Uber Eats would be better because a lot of her seniors were still moving around and functioning and not really at a place where they've been making a huge demand for someone to go and shop for them, or they have family members that are doing the groceries for them, younger family members. So when I started exploring about Uber Eats, I ran across this incredible app called Instacart. I don't know if any of you have heard of it, but it pays significantly more than the food orders do. For example, I can earn anywhere and have earned anywhere from $15 an hour to $60 an hour. Now, how does that work? Well, the more hands you have, the shorter the time is at the grocery, and you have, your second set of hands to actually help you with the list. So Instacart is an app. You can download it, the Instacart Shopper app, and get going right through the app, like right now. And you will have to provide them with certain pertinent information because it's a 1099. And they send you a shopping cart, but before your cart arrives, because it takes about a week to get that, you can put it on your Google or Apple Pay and sync it. And the beauty of that is you can shop at any of the chains. For example, there was a Mexican grocery store that was not practicing social distancing on the line. And so I went to find another store of its kind, and I could not use my Instacart shopper card, okay? I couldn't use it, but they accepted Google Pay. So here I am able to go to an alternative Mexican food store to do the shopping, unimpeded, no lines, social distancing was being practiced, boom, in and out. So that's what I mean by syncing it to your Google Pay and your Apple Pay. It doesn't come out of your account, family. What happens is when the customer places an order, they have a tab with the Instacart. So all that money is tied to that Instacart, which is tied to your Google Pay, okay? So when I go and check out and I use my Google Pay, it's already processing through that customer's, through the Instacart from where the customer set the order up. But it's a really smooth app. You go through there, you get the customer's items, and it's a lot of fun, family, if you enjoy grocery shopping, which I do. It's fun for me. So what I do to make more per hour is I look for the jobs that are paying the most with only one order, family. If you get a job that's paying the most with 3 orders, it's very time consuming to shop for 3 people. Now it's taking 3 hours, and that $60 has been reduced to $20 an hour. That's number one tip, family. The second tip is I take my 15-year-old. Okay. She's got to do her homework online and do all of these things at night when we get back home. But I take her out here with me because number one, she needs to understand what it means to survive and to overcome.
Yeah.
We don't get to take to our beds because of a COVID layoff, family. When
Right.
those people told me in 4 months I need to give them a balloon or they're going to start foreclosure, they didn't say foreclosure. But we already know what the subtext is when they don't put the months on the back end of the loan. They're coming for our houses. And you have to have a resolve within you that says, hell no, that's not going down. Never. This house is from the Lord and we will dwell here. We serve the Lord in this house. I don't know what you serve, and I'm not trying to force religion on you. I am spiritual. You guys know who I am and how I'm wired. And that's how I've gotten through everything through myself. Anywho, I digress. So if you have teenagers, get them out here to help you because it cuts the time in half. Go after the gigs on the, they're sending you notifications when you sign up for Instacart. Go after those jobs with the highest tickets, but only one customer, and take your teenagers out there and photo text the list to them and let them go through. You'll figure it out, but that's some fundamental things you can do. Now, the beauty of Instacart is that they will cash out your tips daily, if that's what you choose. If you need an instant influx of capital, you can get those tips daily, but they pay like clockwork on a Monday. It takes about 3 days lag time for it to hit your accounts. So budget yourself accordingly. But it's a great way to conjure up anywhere from $500 to $1,000 in the week, depending on how hard you hustle on that app. Shawn, I'll take a breath and let you share.
No, sister. I mean, you're right on. You're right on point because we're at the point right now where we have to have immediate solutions. We have to. So that's great. Shout out to Nicole, Ebony, and Nathan. Hey, shout out to everybody that's on. Hey, do me a favor. Get those hearts, those likes, those thumbs ups. Make sure you're sharing this. Make sure you're tagging some people because people need to hear this information. Because what you're talking about, sister, is just relevant. Just day-to-day survival stuff. And don't get down because there's still companies hiring right now. Instacart, 300,000 people they need to do that. So they have that capacity. Walmart is hiring right now 150,000 people. Amazon, 100,000. And let me say this. All right. I know we may have certain feelings about, when you need to eat, you need to eat.
Thank you.
So put all your feelings to the side. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself, right? You want to be, smart, and you don't want to put yourself in danger. Take care of yourself, but we can discuss how we feel about companies later. Right now, take care of your family. Right now, get something to eat. So Walmart is hiring 150,000 people. Amazon is hiring 300,000 people. I'm sorry, 100,000 people. CVS, because of, viruses, illnesses, a lot of people, drugstores, 50,000 people. Dollar stores, more and more people are shopping at dollar stores, especially in our neighborhoods, because guess what? A lot of us live in food deserts. There's nothing else there but Family Dollar, Dollar Store, Dollar Tree, Dollar Tree, 99, all that stuff. They're hiring 7-Eleven, hiring 20,000 people. A lot of, as you talked about, sister, a lot of delivery companies, Domino's, Papa John's, all that. All these companies are hiring and more. So make sure that you're, one, staying alert about who's hiring, and two, look for things to do online. Guess what? Maybe you can tutor. Tutor.com is, kind of similar to what you're talking about, an online version of you being an independent contractor, right? You're working through them, not necessarily for them. You're working through them through their website. So tutor.com is hiring. And so what I want to try to do is give you some relevant real world things that you can do that's going to bring money into your home and for your family. So and also VIPkid.com is teaching people how to speak English. So they're maybe in China, wherever they are, I don't know. They can learn through you how to speak English. So be aware of opportunities like that. Hey, let me also say this. There's a great way to make money. Now, we're not talking, okay, We're not talking about going out and, oh, I'm gonna be a millionaire and I'm making a million. We're talking about survival. Okay,
Amen.
we're talking about bringing money into your house so you can survive, so your family can get through this. So, hey, here's a great way to do something. So, Amazon, they have what's called an affiliate program, right? If you shopping from Amazon, why don't you join their affiliate program and give your link out, because people that are shopping for Amazon, it's not going to cost them anymore. It's going to be the same price. But if they shop through your link, you're going to get a portion of that. Now, you have to go on the side and figure out when you'll get it and all that. I'm not getting into that detail. But what I am trying to say is, like my sister said, we have to be alert right now in this moment of how can we bring money into our homes legally. Because here's one of the things I don't want to have happen. I certainly don't want to start hurting each other, because that's what happens sometimes when we're in desperate situations. And I certainly don't want you to become part of you're being legal and now you become part of the illegal system or the justice system. And so I don't want that for you. But to the degree that we can do some legal things that bring money into our house, that's what we want to do. And so there's a lot of different companies that are doing that. You can go to www.increasemychecks.net. That's my website. I have companies on there that are hiring. I have companies or ways you can make money from home. And so make sure you advantage yourself, take advantage of that information. And I'm always updating it. I always got a lot of good information about job search and things like that that's on that site. But as you said, sister, in this moment, in this day, we have to work together. We have to come together, and we have to support you as a community. We shouldn't have groups that have thousands of members in them, and then we have 5 or 6, people liking stuff and getting engaged. We have to all get engaged. Yvette said this, and she said it perfectly, and is perfect when she said it. Politicians only respond to 2 things: money and pressure. But we know our communities don't have money. We got that. Citizen United. We out that game. But we have to apply pressure. And while you're at home, while you're not working, that pressure can be applied. It's not always about calling. It can be on Twitter. It can be blowing them up on Twitter. It can be blowing them up wherever. But we all have to work together as a community. We cannot any longer allow people to look at our community like an accident that they're driving by and say, oh my God, that is really sad that they're in that accident, and keep going. Because
I like to say I am sick of folks woo woo woo. Remember Sinclair from Living Single? Woo woo woo. Yeah. We done with woo woos, y'all. We done with woo woo. Someone before I let you finish that statement, I just had to jump in because that tickled me when that comes to mind. Woo woo woo. That's all folks are doing and driving right on by to their own lives. Well, we don't get to perish, family. That's not the ancestors' legacy. That's not the shoulders we stand on. We don't get to perish. And I want you to put your egos aside. I hold a college degree, and I've been working since I was 13 years old. I've got a wealth of experience. But let me tell you something, family. Discrimination is real out here in these streets.
Real.
We have no more protections like the boomers. They were protected. They had set-asides. They had things working in their favor to give them a leg up, to give them the pensions, and to give them the protection. Some of them, not all, but many. I'm here to tell you, Gen X on down have got to fight it out for ourselves. We are in this for ourselves. So when it comes to feeding your children, don't you be above doing what is necessary to keep a roof over his head. Put your ego. I know that it hurts to be out here and degreed and have experience and be rejected while other folks come up over top of you. Well, rejection is direction, family. And I tried to post, Nathan, I need whoever's my fastest typist to please put these wonderful tools that Shawn is sharing with us. He shared Amazon, put a /affiliate by that. I don't know who can type, but my keyboard is frozen and I can't get it in there. So I took notes on the side, and I will type it later. If you can't type it for me, that's okay. I'll get it in there. Walmart, CVS, Instacart, LinkedIn, tutoring, increasemychecks.net. Shawn, where can we find your show and support your show?
Well, Thank you, sister, and I appreciate that. I come on and this last week. You go to my personal page. A lot of you are friends with me. This whole last week, except for last night, I spent the night with my family. I did nothing but talk about resources as far as jobs and finding a job. So definitely go check that out on my personal page. You can see
Your personal page on Facebook.
on Facebook. I'm sorry, my personal page on Facebook, and you can check that out. And just hey, I come on Mondays, usually around 8 with ADOS news. News you can use that is more business oriented. I let my sisters like Angela and a lot of other people. Try to stay in my lane. I'm not the political person. I'm more of the finance business person, and so I kind of come from that angle.
All of it.
You're right. No. Hey, and that's what I would. Thank you, sister. Thank you for saying that, because that's so important. Is every person, every ADOS person has something they have to bring to the table.
Yes.
We are not in the position where we can just look to one or two people to do the leadership. Every person has to bring their knowledge to the table. There's some ADOS sisters out there, brothers out there that know all about bacteria and holistic living. But
Cynthia McDonald, Chicago, reach out to her. Cynthia McDonald.
There you go. So we have to have everybody, all minds to the game. I work for a company, and what happens is and I work in a call center, and what happens is when we have all these calls coming in, we have something that's called AHOD, and AHOD means all hands on deck. It means everybody that can get a call, and that's where we are. We are in AHOD. We are in all hands on deck mode. We need everybody to bring something to the table. I don't know what Nathan has. I don't know what Ebony has. I don't know what Nicole has, but everybody has something that they can do. It's almost like that cookout, sister. It's almost like when you go to a cookout and potluck and everybody brings something. Somebody brings some tater salad, don't put no raisins in it. Somebody bringing some barbecue, something. Everybody's bringing something to the party. And that's the moment we're in. That's the moment we're in.
That is so true. Ebony, if you don't mind very much, sister, if you could write in the chat, increasemychecks.net. Increasemychecks.net. These are the things that we need to be doing, family, while we're on lockdown. Okay.
Yes.
We need to be looking up ways to overcome and come out better and stronger and more in control of the things we let go control of when we were out here scrambling for a living. You gotta find the good in everything, family. Hey, Cynthia.
Hey, Cynthia McDonald, what's up?
Just talked you up, sister. I just talked about your blog, your health blog. Visit Cynthia McDonald on her page. We have some ADOS that are just sheer genius, and I'm telling you, each and every one of us is cut from that stock.
Yes.
And I want us to understand that united we stand, divided we fall. Now, I am calling on all of us, urban game changers, concerned Black American citizens, friends of ADOS.com, the ADOS movement, Black Family First, all of you, because we need to come together stronger than ever right now to ward off what they've got in mind for us, because we are more than survivors. We are overcomers in all things, family. So I've got about 10 minutes left. Let me see if thank you so much, Ebony, for typing that in. Yes, if anybody has any questions that they'd like to ask of Shawn, I've got about 10 minutes left. I don't want to go over and rob him of his whole entire Saturday. But another thing, I want us to also be mindful of the way we speak about our money. We have to understand, family, we are not broke. We are temporarily out of cash. Everything we do, family, is through your consciousness. Consciousness determines form, okay? Consciousness, what you think about, you bring about. What you focus on expands.
Yeah.
And so you have to be like the woman with the oil who was told to pour those vessels right now. You need to pour from what you've got in the house. Use this opportunity to monetize everything around you.
Yes, everything.
You're sitting on a fortune right now, and you can be in your homes looking around for things that you can sell right
Yes.
online. All
Yes.
those little business ideas that you wanted to bring to fruition, this is the time to get to birth it. Because family, when you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
Yeah.
So I'm saying don't take your eye off of income right now because unemployment insurance, who knows when that check is coming?
That's right.
Who knows when the stimulus is coming? And we are God's people, and we need to invoke the wisdom of God that is inherent in each and every one of us to borrow from any of these ideas we've shared on this show. And if there's something that you have to share, put it in the chat. It
Yeah.
could help someone, family. And don't be ashamed in this hour. We have had so many peaks and valleys in our experiences being drug over here in chains, family. There is nothing to be ashamed of. Lean on your neighbors. I must have spent a few $100s mailing masks to my friends and family throughout this country.
Hmm.
Because guess why I did it, family? Because I reap what I sow. Do you know how many people have been in there for me for my hour of need?
Hmm.
I could cry on this video from the gratitude in my heart for the people who shared the little they had with me when the hour was dark in my circumstances. You have to understand that when you sow into your fellow person, your fellow
Hmm.
ADOS, and you help them in any way that you can, whether it be to open, well, you be careful about opening homes right now because
Yes.
we're on
Yes. Please.
isolation for a reason. I would
Yes.
say not to have people in your home
Yeah.
because a brother died from COVID who was still doing his barber business, making house visits. Another family contracted the COVID because they had a small party of 10 in their home. So you can't open your doors to your friends and loved ones right now. It's unfortunate, but it could cost you your life or you could become very gravely ill. So don't do that. But what I do encourage you to do is put a care package out to the people. One of my friends was hardest hit by the COVID in New York. We have got to be that to each other,
Yeah.
family, because that is who we are. And that is how we're wired. We have been this for each other since we were brought over here in chains. And I need for you to rely on how the ancestors made it through to understand that that's how you're wired and that you're absolutely going to overcome this. And I'm here to lend of my strength. I'm going to be reading through spiritual books on a separate show. All of these shows are coming, family, because I need for us to take care of ourselves,
Yes.
mind, body, and spirit. It is so imperative that those three things be in alignment for us to come out over the top during Dorona because
Hmm.
we can, family, and we will. And you've got to be committed. You cannot take to your bed. You don't get to give in. You don't get to give
Yes.
up. You don't get to give out. Okay? Be there for each other. Shawn, let me see. I don't see any immediate questions. I see a bunch of love. What's
A
up?
lot of love, a lot of good comments. Shout out to Moni Love. Appreciate you. Cynthia McDonald, Nicole, Trey, Ebony. Appreciate all you guys. And as my sister saying, right now, as we go through all this, I hope that this has been an empowering show for you, an uplifting show for you. This is not a time to get down and depressed.
Come
Yeah,
on.
we're going to do some tough things, but this is an opportunity. You know, they say crisis is two things. It's opportunity in danger, but there's an opportunity in this moment, and that opportunity may be for us to come closer together, to work harder together. Maybe had some people we didn't like before, but guess what? When the bullets flying over your head, you don't care whether you like that person or you don't. You just in that same foxhole, and so we have to start coming together as family and say, look, we're
Yes.
gonna put our petty differences aside. We're
Yes.
gonna come together and we're going to work together for our family, for our community. And that's what I would encourage anybody to do in this moment this moment right now where we are. You know, there's a TV show I used to watch. It was Game of Thrones, and they said, you know, before this season, I would say, winter's coming, winter's coming. Well, winter's here for us. You know, they were saying, well, it's going to be, you know, 20 certain before we have zero. It's here. It's now. Rona has speeded up everything. It has speeded up everything. We weren't even thinking the way we were thinking just 5 months ago, 4 months ago.
Yeah.
But this, what's happened now, has speeded things up. And so a lot of people have been caught flat-footed. As my sister say, if you stay ready, you have to get ready. Well, some people weren't ready, but that's okay. That's okay. But what we have to do now, we have to get ready. We have to work together, and we have to, in this moment, in this hour, be open to all forms of income, because this is where we are. We have to be looking out for each other. We have to be helping each other. We have to be open-minded. This is not the time to be talking about, oh yeah, I'm gonna make $1 million. This is about survival. This is about you staying in your home. This is about you and your family being safe and secure. And so hopefully, if you've taken anything away from this, is that you have some power. Don't feel like a victim. You're not a victim. You're a victor. You're not a victim. You are a victor. So go into this believing that you're going to come out better than you went in.
Matters.
I would also say is take self-care, right?
Yes.
Do something every day that makes you happy, whether it's comedy, whether it's music, whether it's art. I was on another show earlier where I was talking about, you know, jobs and the job search program. Part of looking for a job is self-care, right? Don't take in a lot of the news. Take it, as Yvette said, just take in what you can, put it down, and then move on to something else. Don't, because if you burden your spirit with all the negativity, you won't be able to see the light. You won't see the light. And so the goal is to stay informed, right? But you don't need 24/7 of it. You need to hit it real quick. Okay, I got my quick dip, and now I'm out. In, out. Let me go do something that nurtures my spirit. Let me go read a poem. Let me go write a poem. Let me go do what I need to do. Whatever it is that you do in your hour to comfort you, to strengthen your spirit, that's what you need to do right now. Because here's what we do know, that as you get depressed, it depresses your immune system. So the lower you get, the more susceptible you become to everything, to viruses of all types. So in this moment, let's reach out to each other. Let's love on each other. Let's put all the pettiness to the side. Whatever you had against anybody, forgive them. Let that go.
Let it go.
We don't have time for it. We don't have the luxury for it. And so anyways, that's all I want to say.
Oh, thank you for that. You just hit it all on the head. A couple things came to mind as Shawn was, you know, sewing into us. I want to challenge you, family, every day to keep your routine going. You see, the universe responds to your action. The universe responds to your action. I want you to get up. I want you to put a spiritual practice in play, whether it's prayer, meditation, sitting in the silence. I want you to put on the full armor of whatever it is you do. I need for you to do that. I need for you to find out some great workout videos at home.
Yes.
Monique, you know, the comedian, Monique, she and her trainer, and you know, she's looking fabulous these days. They do a great dance video in YouTube. And if you have your Fire Stick, you can upload your YouTube right there and dance it out with Monique. It is so much fun. I want you to commit to incorporating more fruits, more vegetables, more water. Water is the key, family. And I've got this great limeade that I make. I suck this down to get my water down, but it's basically chia seeds, maple syrup, cayenne pepper, and limes. It's such a and a dash of cayenne red pepper. And it's such a refreshing drink, and it helps with elimination, and it helps with hydration, family. Your urine should be practically clear, okay? I want you to promise me that you're going to take your supplements.
Yeah.
I take garlic. I mean, look, family. These are the supplements I take, right? Because you need a strong immune system, family.
Yes.
And so I've got here just to share. Oil of oregano is all the rage. I've got my glucosamine and chondroitin for my joints. I've got vitamin C, and they've got some great vitamin C complexes for immune building. I've got my multi plant-based vitamin. I've got my B12s, my slippery elm, my apple cider vinegar, my garlic, and my probiotic. Okay, you've got to take your vitamins, and you've got to give your children their vitamins. I want to encourage you to go online every day and do something to bring in income, whether
Yes.
it's circulating resumes, whether it's
Yes.
improving on your LinkedIn sites. I want you to
Yes.
promise me every day you will commit to bringing money into your house.
Yes.
And I'm
Absolutely.
telling you, the universe responds to your activity. You could be sewing for a resume with a totally unrelated company and a job come through for company Z. That's how the universe works because you're sowing seed through just the activity. I want you to take naps. I want you to adhere to what Shawn advised and take on the news in small dosages.
Yes.
And I want you to check on your friends and family in a way that you've not been able to, especially your elders. If you can afford to send them a little care package, I want you to wear your mask, wear your gloves when you step, put it on before you go outside the door.
Yeah.
Spread the word. We are not invincible. Okay.
Yeah.
You may not like it, but you have to wear it. Okay. You must do it because you may not be having any symptoms, but your neighbor, you could be carrying the COVID, be asymptomatic, and come across someone who has a compromised immune system and they can die from it. That's how the COVID works in silent and in secret. So do all of these things that we've advised. I'm going to do my best to get on here more often, but take your naps, drink your liquids as much as you can ingest, and encourage your kids to do the same. My daughter has to take her supplements as well. She doesn't
Mm-hmm.
take as many as me, but I'm older and I've got more needs than her right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Go online to buy your vitamins or the vitamin shop. Research and make sure the vitamins are quality. Lots of
Yeah.
synthetics out here on the market that can make you sick. Go for plant-based and antiviral herbal supplements. Plant-based and antiviral herbal supplements. And with
Mm-hmm.
that said, I want to thank you, my guest, Shawn Hill. I want to thank
Sister,
all.
can I
Yes,
say
please.
one thing? Because Ebony did have a question. I wanted, hey, I'm here. As long as my sister needs to be here, I'm here. I'm here for you guys. If you don't see me here, and let me also, one thing, I'm address your question, Ebony. I appreciate your question. Let me also say this. As long as you're part of the ADOS family, you're never alone. So, right. So if we're not friends on Facebook, send me a friend invite. Let me know your ADOS because I don't take everybody. I just don't. I mean, I just,
You
got to
can.
control who I'm around. That's another thing, your family. Hey, control who your company is. Sometimes you can't choose your family, right? But to the degree that misery loves company, watch out for who's bringing you misery. But to what Ebony's saying, if you can offer your services virtually, absolutely you want to do that. That's another thing about LinkedIn as opposed to Facebook or Instagram. It depends on the service, right? But Instagram is really good for like fashion, for things like makeup and things like beauty. So Instagram is very good for that. Facebook is more probably better for like nutritional things. Instagram as well. But if you have a what's called a B2B service, business to business, or a B2C, some business to consumer services, LinkedIn is a better platform for business because people over there are business minded. When you're on Instagram, pretty much you're on Instagram to enjoy yourself. You want to relax. You're looking at pretty pictures and it's kind of calming. When you're on Facebook, it's almost like you're hanging out with family. So it's harder to do business on Facebook and Instagram than it is on LinkedIn because on LinkedIn it's about business. So if you have a business to business service, it's easier to make those connections on LinkedIn than it is on Facebook or Instagram. So I did want to say that. And also what I meant about no, you're never alone. Hey, These are some tough times. Sometimes you just need to reach out to somebody and say, I'm frustrated. And here's what I want to tell you. I hope we empowered you today, but it's okay not to be okay, right? We all have our bad days. We all have some days where we're frustrated, we're upset about that. But as my sister Angela says, we don't stay there, where we visit it and then we leave. It's not our house. We just visit for a little bit, we get refreshed, and we go back to that battle. So you're never alone. If you have one of those days, send me an email. I'm not going to judge you. Just say, hey, you know what? I'm struggling today.
Me
And for a
too.
lot of us, absolutely, for a lot of us, it's not about having a solution. Sometimes you just need to talk through some things. Sometimes you just need to have somebody say, yeah, I understand what you're saying. And so that's the key in these moments, in these times. We have to be there for each other. We're never alone, because a lot of times when we isolate, that's when our immune system goes down. We get depressed. That's when, things start attacking our mind. Our mental acuity goes
Yeah,
down, and we don't want that. So you family, you never alone. You can fill in my inbox.
never alone.
It's all good. It's all love. It's all love.
Georgia Watt says get at least 10 to 15 minutes of sun per day if possible.
Vitamin D.
Go on the porch or the patio, family.
Vitamin D.
Take in God's beautiful sun, that vitamin D. No better way to get it than to be refreshed by God's magnificence in that sun. Alkaline water, Ebony says, does wonders too. You guys feel free to continue to chat. I'm going to close out the show, but anything that you can add to the chat is going to be helpful to someone else who hasn't thought about it. So
That's right.
offer up ideas and ways that you are managing through the Rona. I love these little nicknames. Laughter is absolutely the key.
Good for the soul.
Turn the comedy on the Netflix and get your laugh on,
Yeah.
because I'm telling you, enjoy your children. I know that it is a hassle trying to get them online to do this homework. But do you know, me and my daughter have had some of the most amazing bonding times because she's been on phone punishment because she's got zeros that she needs to complete. Well, guess what happens when you put them on phone punishment? Guess who they talk to when they can't talk to their friends? You. And it's wonderful because the discussions have been so rich. And she's as tall as me. I'm 5'10", she's 5'9.5". But let them get in your laps right now. Let them be like babies. They are very discombobulated by what's going on. If you think it's hard on us, imagine what your children are going through. So give them that extra love. And if they're grown and want to get in your lap, let them get in your lap as long as they're not breaking your lap. Because they need the comfort of their mothers and their fathers right now to know that this challenge didn't come to stay. It's come to pass. Yeah. And no matter how horrid the Rona is, the transatlantic voyage over here was worse. Chattel slavery was worse. Pray for your friends and family. Keep a covering over them. And with that said, I'm going to close out the show. For those of you who don't like prayer, well, not don't like prayer, but God, you haven't resolved what your spiritual path is, and anything I say or do in terms of spirituality offends you, this is your time to depart from the show. But I love the Lord, and I'm so grateful for the resurrected Christ within each and every one of us. You are the image likeness of God. When I see you, I see God. You are the face of God. You are the hands of God. You are the feet and the legs of God. And when God rested in you on the seventh day, he named you the best of all of his creation. Know that is who you are. Of all the creation that you see around you, God said you are my numero uno. So much that he made you in his image likeness. And that is who you are before you are the flesh. So with that said, I want to close with my prayer of protection that the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever ADOS and its allies are, God surely is. And until my next live, you make it a beautiful, God-inspired rest of your Saturday and Resurrection Sunday. I love you, Black. I love you, strong. Peace, family. Mwah. Thank you,
Love
Shawn.
you all.
I'll be
You're
in.
never alone, family. You're never alone.
Thank you, Shawn.
You're welcome.